He's got a green hat tucked under his blue. Oh. And as he tried to arrive at that decision, and those of you that lead with blue and green will absolutely appreciate this, he was reading the cards, much like you were, and he read determined, competitive, demanding, and my 6-year-old said, Mom, you're red, so am I, take a hat. My daughter's been through this evaluator, she and I popped on the yellow hats. The gentleman, Dave, with the camera was waiting to take the picture. My son hadn't moved. He was kind of pouring through the information. And it was dead quiet, and he said, can I wear more than one hat? And my wife, fiery red, what'd she say? No, pick a hat. Why? Because red buys the action. Go, go, go. I said, ooh, was risky at the time. Actually, you can wear as many hats as you want. So he kind of deliberated again, and he said, you know, I'm green, but I'm more blue. So I put him on like this. Now, look at the big smile on his face. Insights was able to acknowledge who he sees himself as. Think about how well you do that with other people that you work with. And think about, does the organization allow you to do that as well? And again, it really is targeted to those of you that lead with blue and green. The decisions are not as quick, are they? They're more thoughtful. There's more to analyze. But when you're done, it's a better decision. It takes more time, but it's a better decision. It permeates, these energies permeate everything we do. The reason I give you that example as well is don't feel like you're in one bucket. Don't walk out of here and say, you're yellow, I'm green. What's that mean? No, you lead with that energy. It's what you probably do best, but all of us have all 4 color energies, and we call on them all the time. Those of you that lead with high yellow and hardly any blue, you still got to get taxes done, don't you? You don't rely on your yellow energy to get your taxes done. That would really get you in trouble. You rely on your blue, and it wears you out. Let me give you a quick example. Can everybody just set down whatever you have in your hands? Okay? And just cross your arms. Just go ahead and cross them. Pretty comfortable? Yeah, pretty comfortable? Carefully crossing the other way. I can't even do it. What to do? Like this. Some of you are still flipping your arms. How's that feel? Uncomfortable? Weird? What it illustrates is if you've got a high level of, let's say, yellow and green energy, it's when your arms are comfortable, you can use it all the time, you don't even have to think about it, and you're probably good at it most of the time. When you are called upon, or when you choose to use those energies that you have less of, you can do it, but it's a little awkward, feels a little different, it doesn't feel like your most natural state, and guess what else? It's tiring. Those of you that lead with really low red, for instance, that have to run a 3-hour meeting and really drive it for results, you can do it, but you might be exhausted at the end of the meeting, which is fine. The whole point of it is recharge. Fire up your batteries and be able to recharge. Let me get into the psychology that underpins our system. Those of you that are familiar with MBTI or Myers-Briggs, you'll see a lot of similarities in it. The two systems can coincide extremely well. In many organizations where MBTI is very prevalent, we'll layer insights discovery on top of it, a little bit like frosting on the cake. Leveraging everything that's been invested in that, but making it very, very actionable in a given day. So the psychologist is Carl Jung, and how many of you are familiar, by the way, with Jung? Actually, I should ask, how many doctors of psychology do I have in the room? I can make some stuff up. No, one of you's there and you didn't raise your hand, you'll catch it. I'll be good. What Jung stated, and again, if you look at the cards that you have at the table, you'll be able to kind of follow along really easily, because I want to make sure that our model makes sense to you as you look at your profile and we look at the graphs that are in there. And that's what we'll close up with, is making sure that you have an understanding of that. So here's the same insights wheel that we talked about, but the left side of the wheel represents introversion. So blue and green energy are likely more introverted than extroversion, which is represented by the red and yellow energy. Does that make sense? And let me back up. What Jung said, by the way, is that most people do the same thing all the time, every day. And he actually did this in 1921. He wrote a book called Psychological Types, and only in one chapter of that book, chapter 10, all this personality stuff came out. But what he basically suggested is that people live on a spectrum between introversion and extroversion, and you can take your finger and just literally plunk it down where you see yourself. Extremely introverted, extremely extroverted, or frankly, you might be right smack in the middle, which is fine too. But wherever you are on that spectrum, Jung suggested that we all take in information about the world through our 5 senses, or through our intuition, so through data and reality, or through our gut, and then we make a decision in our head or in our heart. The decision is through thinking, based on task and logic, or feeling, based on people and relationships. So within that model, that's how we constructed this insights model. So your introversion and extroversion sits like this on the wheel. The top half of our model, red and blue, exhibit that thinking preference. The bottom half of the model is green and yellow. So the top half is formal, analytical, detached. It's all about getting things done. What's a logical way to do it? Make sense? Some of you can maybe relate to that. Well, sure, that's what it's about. It's about getting things done. Whether you're introverted or extroverted, get things done. The bottom half of the wheel is a feeling preference. How will this impact the people? How are the relationships? How are my relationships? If you start to think about where do you devote most of your time and your energy, is it about solving problems and focusing on tasks and getting things done? Or for some of you, is it more about people, feelings, and relationships? Hopefully, as you think about yourself in those areas, it kind of maps to the color energies that you see yourself leading with. The other thing, by the way, is thinkers. You know what thinkers say? I think. What do you think? How do you think the meeting went? What do you think we should do today? I think we have to go to lunch. Where do you think we should go? Think, 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 think. If you're a thinker, that's what you say. If you're a feeler, you likely say, I feel like the meeting went really well. I feel good. I feel like I want to go to lunch. Where do you feel we should go to lunch? Some of you can relate to either one of that, but have you ever seen this conversation? How do you think the meeting went? I feel like there was more we could have gotten done. I just feel like it kind of dragged on. I think we got a lot done. I think we jammed through the agenda, and I think we came to some good action items. I think we hit some good conclusions. I think it went well. I still feel like we need to meet again. I just feel like something didn't play together. Right? Think about this with your spouse or significant other. Been there? Yeah, same thing. Let me suggest that if you, even this afternoon you can play with it, but tomorrow when you go back to work, instead of walking in to someone and saying, how do you think the meeting went? If that's how you naturally speak, or how do you feel the meeting went? If that's how you naturally ask the question. What if you said, what's your reaction to the meeting? How would you react to that meeting we just had? Because you know what they'll tell you? I think it was good, or it felt good to me. They will give you the clue back. Are they a thinker or are they a feeler? And once you clue in on that, because you're aware, what you just start to do, treat them the way they want to be treated. How many of you know the golden rule? Come on, we were raised with it, I think. Boomers, we're dying off. The boomers. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. Kind of, not really. Treat others the way they want to be treated. And the only way you'll know is if you heighten your awareness to be able to ask yourself, hey, I'm going to work with Tom tomorrow. I wonder what color energy Tom leads with. I wonder if I should focus on tasks. I wonder if I should speed up. I wonder if I should slow down. I wonder if I should get a ton of data in front of him before the meeting. I wonder if I should walk in and engage him without a lot of data. Isn't it critical? Think of it for you. Wouldn't you love if everybody came and engaged with you in the way that you've indicated your color energies to be right now? How cool would that be? And I don't think I can convince all of you, or any of you, to go into work tomorrow and wear your yellow hat, your yellow leg, your yellow wristband, and hang the sign up on your door. Some of you might try it. Try it to a degree that you're comfortable with, and explain to people what's going on. But don't go to them and say, see the red hat, the red this, the red that? It means I like to move fast, and I want you to start to speed up and work with me better. Got it? Any questions? Don't do that. Bring all your red stuff back to the office, but bring that card. And show that person the card and say, hey, I'd like to work better with you. Where do you see yourself in this model? What color do you think you lead with? What color do you feel you lead with? Let them tell you. And now you become the guru. You find a way to, no matter where you're coming from, give that person more of what they need to have a better interaction. When you bring these together, by the way, this is the psychology. Notice I didn't use intuition and sensing. It's not part of this 4-color model. It is part of your profiles, but not part of the 4-color model. So as you bring it together, let me do this. Thinking on the top, feeling on the bottom, like I shared, introversion and extroversion. This is the psychology that underpins the meaning.